Hey guys, James Mason here. Today in this video I'm going to give you a quick demonstration on how to install this hot wire underfloor heating. Now it's not going to be a complete how-to because I just want to get in quickly before my title will start, but I'll run through the basics of what you need to know, and then I'll link in the comment section below to a more in-depth training video that the manufacturer uses. This is a bit of behind the scenes on my bathroom renovation I'm doing on the Small Space Big Build project. If you haven't seen that, check out some other videos, but today let's concentrate on this. Alright, so the first step, you need to make a cutout in the wall where the wires are going to go up to your thermostat. So I've got mine over here. I'll give you a close up of this now. I'll show you what you need to do. Okay, so these are the three chases you need to make. Now I've got a sand and cement bed, so I could basically just knock that out with my screwdriver. So you've got one this side and one that side for the cold tails, and then you've got one here where your thermostat's going to come out. You'll see in a second why you need those three. And then a hole in through the wall there where the tails can go up and through, and then that'll run up to the top and to connect to where your thermostat's going to go. Now the reason we've got these is, you'll see here when I get this off the drum, this is the power cable, and then this is what they call here the cold tails. They're a little bit thicker where they're wrapped, and these sit into the slab there. This wire here gets fed up the wall, and then this will run out for the heating. So it's just sort of 3mm wire that's laid over the slab. Because that's thicker, they need to sit down inside that little cutout. Now when you get your kit, you'll get the drum of wire, you'll get your thermostat with the instructions, you get one of these little testers that you put on the wire just to make sure after it's laid that it hasn't been damaged, and some tape for sticking it down to the floor. Now speaking of sticking it to the floor, because I've got a sand and cement base here, you always get a little bit of loose sand on the top, so it's quite hard for that tape to stick down. So what I recommend is actually putting a sealer over the top of it. I've used Sem stick, which is just mixed 1-to-1, just like a PVA glue, or you can use any other sort of tile sealant. Put that down over the top and it just seals in some of that loose sand so they can stick a bit better. You'll probably find that it sticks a lot better on a concrete slab if you're doing a direct stick over the top of that, but because I had to have some big falls through here, that's why I've gone a thicker sand and cement base. Okay, so that's the items that you've got. Now next, prior to even starting and getting this, you need to work out what you're going to need in the way of square meterage. Now, I'm just doing this area on this side here, and I've got 2.2 across, and I'm about 1.4 this way, so I'm about 3.2 square meters approximately. So these kits, I think, don't quote me in it, again check the manufacturer's website, I think they come in either from 2 to 3 meter kits, and then from 3 to 4 meter kits, and then it goes up from there. So I land in between the 3 to 4 meter kit, and now I'll show you how to space this out and how you calculate it. Okay, so the secret of working out how far apart these cabling's going to go is you take the area of the room, so again mine's 2.2 this way by 1.4 that way, sorry, 2.3 this way by 1.4 that way. Now I've got 3.22 square meters. Now the trick of this is to then times that by 1,000. So I've got 3,220, and the reason we do that is because on the bottom of the drum here, there's a number right here. Now mine says, I don't know if you can see that because of the bad lighting, 45. So what you then do is take the number that you've got, mine was 3,220, and divide that by the length of cable on your drum, which I've got 45. And so then that gives you your spacing. So I've got 71 millimeters. So what you then can do is get a little spacer, and that's what you're going to use to space these wires. What I've got is basically just a 3-inch nail, which measures 70 millimeters, so it works out perfect. Now I can start laying. So with the roll of tape that they give you, I just recommend breaking off some strips and just sticking them somewhere. You're going to need quite a lot of these to stick down the tape. Once you've got a few of those, then you get started sticking it down. Now you want to take your spacer, and that's 70 millimeters that I worked out. That's the distance that it needs to be off the wall. This end, I want to leave a double distance with my spacer, because once we do all this floor and we come back around, we need to come back along here and then wrap back in, and then the other cold tail will just finish up on this third cut that we've done here. So go that double distance and stick it down. Now once you've got a couple of lines down and you've got your spacings right, I recommend getting a bucket and a rod or a screwdriver, just sitting in there. It just makes it easy to pull the cable off. That'll just roll. Okay, so now a little tip for this. There's a blue marker here which you can see. This indicates the halfway point of the roll. So what you should really do is look at where you are with the matting and then try and get an indication if you are halfway. Now it looks like halfway for me probably would have been back here near the waist, because that's sort of half the distance of this room. So it looks like my spacings are probably a little bit too big. I've probably crept a little bit. So now that I know for the rest of the floor, I should probably creep those spacings, make them a little bit tighter, so I don't end up with excess, because I need that cold tail at the back to finish exactly in that groove that we made. So now we'll continue on, just keep the spacings tightened up a little bit. Okay, so another little tip, as you're getting towards the end and you can see the cold tails coming up, which is the white cord here where it joins, just lay it out loose before sticking it down. That way you can sort of roughly measure it out so that you can get that cold tail joint, that thicker bit that we showed you earlier, right in that connection point where it needs to go over there. So we'll just do that, bring it all out and see how much we've got left. And the best bet is to actually stick that cold joint or the cold tail in there and then work back from there and just take up any slack that you got left over. Okay, so I've got a bit of excess here. So like I mentioned before, I need to creep these over a little bit more, just in this last section, so I'll get one more loop in. So it's always good to work that last section from where the cold tail is, back. Okay, so now that the matting's all laid out, or the wire I should say, next step is to put the little thermostat probe in. This comes in the pack. And what it is a wire, and you'll see on one end it's got like a little you call it a little cap on the end. That is what sits down in our third chase back here. Again, this will just come out into the floor, probably about 100 millimeters, and the rest of that tail will go up inside the cavity up to our thermostat with the other two white wires. So then this will just sit about there, taped in. Looks at about 100 millimeters out from the wall. So I'll stick another bit of tape on that, and then tomorrow all these three wires, the black for the probe and the two white ones, will all be fed up in through our hole there, taken up to our thermostat, and then I'll seal around the hole that we've made here with some polyurethane sealant, just to make sure that all the waterproofing membrane's intact. So now it's these three wires, the two white ones that have got the floor heating elements running through them, and the black one, which is the probe, that will run up through the wall and up to where our thermostat's going to be. We're going to fit our thermostat inside our shaving cabinet. Now, you don't have to be an electrician to run all this on the floor. Any sort of DIY can do this. but you do have to be an electrician to hook up the power to it and do the thermostat and everything else. So I'll leave that up to the professionals. Hopefully what you'll organise your electrician to do is actually leave a draw wire in. So all you need to do is hook this up to that draw wire, and then you can feed it up to where your thermostat's going to go, and then your job's done. Now I'd recommend getting your floor laid pretty quickly after you lay this down, because you don't want to get damaged by other tradesmen or people walking in, or something being dropped on top of the wires. But if for whatever reason you've got it down and you want to check to see if it has been damaged, they supply you with this little battery pack and wires. Now what it is, it's a little alarm that will test you if there's a fault in the wire. So all you do is you take, on the two white ones, you take a red and you say attach it to the blue one on one wire. You take the black and you attach it to the brown or black on the other wire. And then all you're left with is the green on both wires. So you can take that green earth one and attach it to basically any wire, doesn't matter. And then you switch the little button on. And if you get a red light with no alarm, that's great. But if you get this sound, that means there's a fault somewhere in the wiring. The only reason it's making that sound now is because I'm touching two of these terminals together. So keep all your terminals away, just like when you jump start a car, and you test that. So red light, no alarm, great. If you get an alarm and they're not touching, then you might want to check the floor, could have been damaged. Okay, so there you go guys. There's the hot wire underfloor heating installed. Now the next step the manufacturer recommends is actually pouring a ardent floor leveling compound over the top of this, just to cover the wires. You won't see this in this video because my tilers are going to take care of that. I have had bathrooms in the past where we've just direct stuck over the top of the wires and it hasn't been a problem. The only thing is that there's a chance that the wires can move around a little bit. If you do the ardent over the top of it now, it just sets them into place. So you'll see that in the manufacturer's video in a link below. But for me, it was really to show you guys my bathroom and putting it in. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, give it a thumbs up, like or subscribe. We'll catch you next time. Cheers guys.